ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. If this is your first time in my channel, make sure you like, click, and subscribe for more news and commentary. Now, with that being said, what is going on in my favorite city, Miami? Well, you got a lot of people, spring breakers, coming down to Miami without a mask, raising havoc in South Beach. And this to me shows you that the city could not handle like thousands upon thousands of college students running wild in Miami, right? So this article comes from the New York Times. It said Miami Beach overwhelmed by spring break extends emergency curfew. So y'all, before I start this article, it shows you they can handle the people in that comes to Miami on spring break. And now people are starting riots. They're and Miami people, Miami PD throwing, as you know, tear gas and pepper balls to disperse crowds. It is so crazy. I think one of the restaurants, y'all, has decided to shut down temporarily because of the riots. So let me read this article again. This is from the New York Times. It says, one day after the spring break oasis of South Beach descended into chaos, with the police struggling to control overwhelming crowds and making scores of arrests, officials in Miami Beach decided on Sunday to extend an emergency curfew for up to 3 weeks. The officials there went so far as to approve closing the famed Ocean Drive to all vehicular and pedestrian traffic from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., the hours of the curfew, for 4 nights, a week through April 12th. Residents, hotel guests, and employees of local businesses are exempt from the closure. The strip frequented by celebrities and tourists alike, was a scene of much criticized skirmish on Saturday night between sometimes unruly revealers who ignore social distancing and mask guidelines aimed to curbing the coronavirus, and police officers who used paper balls to disperse a large crowd just hours after the curfew was introduced. I'm going to stop you right there. You know, see, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, should think things through about allowing, colleges who want to go to Florida for spring break. They knew that first of all, Ron DeSantis basically allowing this to happen. Like, they don't have to wear a mask, they can do whatever they want to do. And what is going on is that these college students are running wild in Miami, and you can't even handle the crowds. So now, not only they didn't wear a mask, but they didn't even do social distancing. So I'm concerned that this coronavirus, because they already had the UK mutation version of the virus, it's gonna get worse now. It's gonna get a lot worse, because it shows you that they cannot even handle the crowds. And it's like last year, one of the college students said they don't care about the coronavirus. I will catch it, and I'm still gonna have fun. Oh my goodness! You know what he just said? That he didn't care that he can catch the coronavirus. He just want to have fun. First of all, the governor DeSantis should have made some COVID-19 rules while they're even visiting to Florida. He didn't even do it. All he said was that he allowing they don't have to wear no mask, and there's a lot of anti-mask people out there in Miami alone. Thousands upon thousands go to Florida, especially for spring break. So you think about it, y'all. How many students has already been infected with the coronavirus and didn't know it? But yet they basically, then they saying curfews and police officers. And I know they're spending taxpayers' money trying to get police officers to maintain control of the situation in Miami. But look what happened. They couldn't even control the crowds. They had to use tear gas, sometimes rubber balls to disperse the crowds. Oh man, this is wow. Let's continue this article. It says the restrictions were a stunning concession to the city's inability to control unwillingly crowds of revealers whom the city and the state of Florida have aggressively courted amid the continuing coronavirus pandemic. I, I believe it's a lot of pent up demand from the pandemic and people want to get out, David Richardson, a member of the Miami Beach City Commission, said on Sunday. And our state has been publicly advertised as being open, so that's contributing to the issue. Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there again. That's true. And I've been saying all along that Ron DeSantis, as well as Texas Governor, let's just go to Texas Governor, just tell the public we don't have to wear a mask. We don't have to. You don't have to touch social distancing. Social distancing. You can have fun. You can do whatever you want to do. But to me, Florida already is the hot spot of COVID-19 as it is. And now, since all the spring breakers went down there, it's going to make things a lot worse. And Fauci warned everybody this is going to happen, and they didn't listen. So now you have all these spring breakers running wild, rioting in Miami, and they don't even know what to do. They don't even know how to handle the crowd. But see, I blame the governor, Ron DeSantis, on this. I even probably blame Miami politicians, like probably the city's mayor. They could have handled this better, and they didn't. And now all of a sudden, now you have issues. Now you have to do curfews for weeks and weeks because they don't even know how to handle a crowd like this. And like last year, you have COVID cases. This year's going to get a lot worse because they got more crowds out there that don't social distancing and then don't wear a mask. What do you expect? You got thousands of people already coming down to Miami for spring break, and y'all don't even give them COVID-19 rules. They don't even do, and this is what's so sad, y'all. They don't even do, one of them 18. When you first landed in cities or different cities, you have to do a quarantine for 18 days or something like that. They imposed that to them. And this is why I say this is going to get worse and worse in Miami. When people spreading all this cold, I'm telling you, once this spring break is over, I guarantee you, there's gonna be more cases of COVID-19 in Florida, more cases, and then the people that were there, they probably got COVID, and they're gonna spread it to back home to other places. I'm telling you, all this is going to be increased, and then all because of Ron DeSantis' lack of responsibility to, give them COVID-19 rules before they even land to Miami and causes madness. So let's continue. It says, in an emergency meeting, the commission approved maintaining the curfew in the city's South Beach entertaining district from Thursday through Sunday for 3 more weeks, which is when spring break typically ends. Officials also kept in place bridge closures on the nights of the curfew along several causeways that connect Miami Beach with the mainland. The city's decision to send police personnel in riot gear into the entertainment district on Saturday, only a few hours after the curfew was announced, was heavily criticized, especially by local black leaders. They noted that many of revealers dispersed by the police were young African Americans. I'm going to stop you right there again. Let's talk about it. You don't see, last year, when they were running wild, you see a lot of white college students in Miami, in parts of Florida. That's where COVID-19 starts. So now you see a lot of black college students. The city of Miami bring full riot gear to maintain the crowds, and what they fail to realize is that white college students was in part of that crowd, but you didn't see them dispersing like they're doing with black college students. So this is why a lot of black leaders are very angry about this. They're gonna say, "Well, wait a minute, you attacking young college students, young black college students, but y'all didn't maintain control with old white college students going around the city And this is going to be a bit. I'm telling you, this is after the spring break is over. It's going to be a huge mess. Let alone talk about COVID. I mean, COVID-19 going to be spread all across the city. I'm telling you, Florida's going to be a major hotspot again for COVID-19 cases. All because of all this stuff going on down there in Miami when people are rioting over there. It's going to be a big mess. So let me continue this article. It says it's the same group of kids that are in South Padre Island right now, except those kids happen to be white, says Stephen Hunter Johnson, chairman of Miami-Dade's Black Affairs Advisory Board, referring to the popular spring break destination in Texas. Mr. Johnson said the city had done a poor job of rolling out the curfew and enforcing it. This entire economy thrives off vacation, he said, but when you have kids that feel as if they are being over-policed or policed differently in the environment post George Floyd, where we don't skirt back from that, but we confront it head on. This leads to situations where the officers feel understandably like they're being put in an unfair situation. So, y'all, what they're trying to say is that the police is heavily, try to control the black college students there. Well, you have a lot of white college students they allow running wild, and not they ain't gonna do nothing about them. And this is what I'm saying. This is why a lot of black leaders and civil rights leaders and the NAACP, that's why they felt some type of way, because you felt like you cracking down on the black college students, giving post curfews on that side where they are, but y'all not handling the white college students. And this is going to be a major issue. It's going to be a major issue. And I tell you like this, like I said before, everyone who was down there in Florida, they may catch COVID-19. I mean, not may, they will. Because if you don't wear a mask, if you're not social distancing, it's going to get worse. I wouldn't even be surprised that the cases is going to be increasing. It's going to be increasing hotspot in Florida alone. It's going to be so bad that they're too scared to travel to Florida now. It's going to be that bad. So let's finish this article. It says Miami Beach police said on Sunday night that they have made over 50 arrests and confiscated 8 firearms since Friday. I'm going to stop right there again. Now, they said confiscated 8 firearms since Friday. So you're telling me that they got weapons on them? When riot happened, they forgot weapons. So 50 arrests and confiscated 8 firearms since Friday. Who has the firearms? Who has the weapons? Y'all, I told y'all. This is a mess. And what makes it so bad is Miami officials couldn't do a damn thing about it. They knew there's going to be college students coming down there. They knew it was going to be a crowd, probably about thousands of college students going to be there. And you're telling me you ain't going to set any rules because the pandemic is still going on? You're not going to set any rules for college students to have a COVID-19 policy that you have to be quarantined for 18 or something more days? But even with that, you have people that don't even wear a mask and not even social distancing. That's going to get worse. And I'm telling y'all, it's going to get a lot worse. And since the only reason why they want to crack down on the curfew, and this is why the black leaders are not happy about this, is because of their more black college students there in Miami. And then there are a lot of white college students, but they're not focusing on them. They only focus on the black college students. And that's why a lot of black leadership felt some type of way like, yo, that's not right. So let me finish this article. It says, shortly after sunset on Sunday, a time when Ocean Drive is usually swarming with revealers, businesses on the beachfront stretch, known for its Arco Deco hotels, were shutting their doors and calling it a night to comply with the 8 p.m. curfew. Although the crowds were not as large as they were on Saturday night, hundreds of people remained in the streets as police officers began their sweep to clear the district. The frank cases associated with recent nights in South Beach appear to have subsided. A group of tourists who have flown in from Chicago and Memphis for a long weekend of partying, sip beer, and watch a staff member at their hotel, Winter Haven, cordoned off the patio with yellow caution tape. Among them was Ryan Fachard, 37, a tourist from Memphis, who mostly faltered groups of college students for what she said was their no-holds-barred attitude regarding the mayhem. It's never been this bad, she said, and fighting and all that stuff is just real different. Sierra Booker, 31, who was also with the group, offered a frank assessment of the situation. Man, I think we need the restaurant open, she said. We can't eat. Listen, you got to understand we're in Miami for spring break. Ain't nobody trying to eat during the day. We're trying to party. Moments later, a formation of Miami Beach squad cars and officers on all terrain vehicles cruised north of on Ocean Drive, working to clear the streets. They blasted eardrum piercing sound cannons as a pre-recorded message barred from loudspeaker. The city of Miami Beach is under a state of emergency, the message said, playing on the loop. This is a curfew in effect from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. You are commanded to immediately and peacefully disperse. The curfew was initially put in place on Saturday for 72 hours. On Sunday, city officials voted anonymously to extend the emergency declaration until Monday, with the city manager empowered to extend it week by week. And this is, you see, this is what's going. This is like black. This is where the black college students were. And this is before the curfew. And again, the only reason why they're doing this, and like I said before, is because look what color they are. They're black, right? Now, picture all white college students like this, and they're not going to control that. No, that's the only reason why they're doing it, is because they're mostly black college students out there running wild. But if it's white college students, they're going to run wild. They're going to do whatever they want to do until the time to say, no, let's cut it out. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, a Republican, has boasted about a state lack of pandemic restrictions compared with other parts of the country that are controlled by Democrats. If you look at South Florida right now, this place is booming, Mr. DeSantis said recently. Los Angeles isn't booming. New York City is. Y'all, what's going to happen? What Governor Ron DeSantis don't realize, the more people out there in the streets not wearing a mask, not social distancing, the worst cases of COVID-19 going to happen in his state. And he really need to think about it. Well, my state, South Florida, is booming right now. Yeah, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do as governor to restrict COVID-19 restrictions. And look what happened, y'all. All of this could have been avoided if they had COVID-19 restrictions before they even come to Miami. But they didn't do it. Miami-Dade County, which includes Miami Beach, has recently endured one of the nation's worst coronavirus outbreaks, and more than 32,000 Floridians have died from the virus, an unthinkable cost that the state's leaders rarely acknowledge. The state is also thought to have the highest concentration of B.1.1.7, the most contagious and possible more lethal virus variant first identified in Britain, which is the mutation of the COVID-19. Some blame the unusual large crowds on a spring break season supercharged by a pandemic that has limited socializing. Mr. Richardson, the city commissioner, said what Miami Beach was facing is far greater than spring break, and that's why we are experiencing the large number of crowds that we are. Ricky Arola, another city commissioner, said at the group's emergency meeting, shutting things down cannot be the way the city does business. It is embarrassing, and it shows we don't know what we're doing. Mr. Arola also said that the city should start planning for its next busy time. We got caught flat-footed this spring break, and we're going to walk right into the punch Memorial Day weekend. Businesses about 30 miles north in the city of Fort Lauderdale are monitoring the developments in Miami Beach. We've been watching it very closely. Dan Lindblade, president and chief executive of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce said on Sunday evening. We do everything we have to do to make sure we don't have the same situation happen up here. Fort Lauderdale dealt with similar spring break problems in the 1980s and early 90s until the city and businesses decided to make some changes, he said. One major change, hotels started charging more money for rooms. We're not catering to an under 150 a night crowd, Mr. Limblade said, adding, we're 300 to 500 a night, and that's just a different crowd. The effect, Mr. Limblade said, has been notable. It's family-oriented atmosphere. He said that that's been great for our economy. Seemingly undeterred by the police presence on Sunday night in South Beach, two maskless men in their 20s who were wearing board shorts and clutching hard seltzers took turns snorting while white lined from the postcard. Around the corner, a group of police officers stood calmly. I'm gonna stop you right there. What color do you think they are? I'm just asking a question. What color do you think they are? Because everybody knows if this was a black, they would have been arrested. They would have shut it down quickly. Let's say around the corner, a group of police officers stood calmly, talking with one another and shouting for people to go home. A man who was part of the massive throng of people walking towards Ocean Drive sipped from an almost empty bottle of cognac and nodded at the officers. I think they're doing that. I mean, they're white. You notice that they don't do nothing to white college students at all. At all. They know they basically they say they're snorting white lines from a postcard. They're white. That's why they ain't do anything to them. They drinking cognac in front of officers. They didn't do nothing to them. Because get this, if there was a black college student doing the exact same thing, they don't shut it down quickly. And I guarantee you that's maybe the reason why a lot of black officials felt some type of way. Like, okay, I can understand your concern, but there's also white college students out there as well. So you ain't gonna do nothing to them, but you're gonna do it to black college students? Really? So let's continue. They said, hurry up, man, one of the officers said, cautioning about a police detail nearby. Okay, the officers stayed in place and continued their conversation as the group headed towards the bar that was not shuttered. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the New York Times article. What we're facing, and this is a concern that everybody is facing right now in Miami, in Florida alone. When you have college students that comes down on spring break every year, and they don't wear a mask, they don't do social distancing, that's the issue. But Ron DeSantis said, who cares? My business is booming. Economy is good down in Florida, South Florida. So who cares what they do? They're getting money. That's all Ron DeSantis is worried about. And then they try to blame Democratic states like California, New York. They worry about, they try to shut down states like that. But Ron DeSantis said, well, he doesn't at least worry. He doesn't care because, at least businesses down in South Florida is booming because of spring break and people have fun. But when you have people, thousands among thousands of crowds coming in Miami alone, Miami Beach, city of Miami, and they don't wear no masks, they don't do social distancing, that is an issue. That's a problem. And so you got those, and then Florida alone already had cases of COVID-19 as it is. This situation is gonna make things worse, and Ron DeSantis don't care. Ron DeSantis don't even realize how serious this pandemic is. But yet, he didn't care. His businesses in South Florida booming because of the spring break. They're not losing money. They got money, right? It is so bad that they pose this curfew, and they say that they're targeting black college students, but not white college students. They allow white college students running wild, but black college students they're gonna shut down. They're gonna arrest. And then they say of course 50 arrests, only 8 weapons confiscated. I mean, who got the weapons? That's what I don't understand. They're college students. Who has the weapons? Who carry weapons around? Even though, Florida, the state of Florida got the stand your ground law and possibly an open carry state. But my question is, who has the weapons on them that the police kept confiscated? So y'all let me know what you think about this. I mean, they should have been prepared for all of this. They should have been prepared for all these college students coming down, and they didn't do a good job handling the situation. So I guess the people can't wait for them to leave, but the damage has already been done. Been done. Y'all let me know what you think. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.